Most men think the moment a woman opens up emotionally is the moment the relationship becomes real. They hear her say something serious, something raw, something honest, and they assume intimacy is growing. They assume she is choosing them. They assume they are finally getting closer. But here is the truth that destroys more good men than cheating ever will. Some of the most emotional-sounding words a woman can say are not vulnerability. They are disclaimers. They are escape routes. They are warnings delivered in soft packaging so you do not react, so you do not leave, and so she can keep the benefits of your presence while slowly detaching from the responsibility of respecting you. And the reason this hits men so hard is because most men were trained to believe patience is strength. They were trained to believe tolerance is love. They were trained to believe staying calm while being mistreated is maturity. But patience without boundaries is not strength. It is self-abandonment. Tolerance of disrespect is not love. It is participation in your own erasure. If you want a woman to respect you, you must be willing to walk away when she reveals that she does not. That is not ego. That is clarity. That is self-worth. And today, I am going to expose 5 specific statements that sound like honesty, progress, even intimacy, but are actually subtle announcements of disrespect. These are the phrases that should trigger an immediate, calm, non-negotiable exit. Not because she is evil, not because you are bitter, but because you understand something most men refuse to accept. You cannot negotiate attraction. You cannot negotiate respect. You cannot talk someone into valuing you. You either inspire it or you leave. Now pay attention, because the first statement is the one that traps the most men, and it is disguised as maturity. Statement number 1, I am not ready for a relationship. On the surface, it sounds responsible. It sounds self-aware. It sounds like she is communicating her emotional availability like an adult. But here is what it usually means in the real world. I am not ready for a relationship with you. Because readiness is not a permanent condition. Readiness is activated by desire. When the right man appears, women become ready quickly. They reorganize schedules. They create time. They change priorities. They find emotional space. You have seen it happen. You have watched women say they needed to focus on themselves and then suddenly dive into something intense with someone else. That is not hypocrisy. That is biology. Desire overrides excuses. So when she tells you she is not ready, what she is really telling you is that you do not trigger the level of fascination and urgency required for her to choose you fully. That is her right. But your mistake is thinking it is your job to wait. Your mistake is thinking if you stay supportive, if you stay consistent, if you stay patient, she will eventually wake up and realize you were the one. That fantasy has destroyed countless men, because while you wait, you become a placeholder. You become an emotional assistant. You become a provider of attention, comfort, validation, and stability without receiving commitment, loyalty, or clarity in return. And the longer you stay, the more you teach her that your boundaries are negotiable, your time is unlimited, and your self-respect has a price. That price becomes her inconsistent affection. The correct response to this statement is not anger. It is calm action. You acknowledge her honesty and you leave. You do not argue. You do not beg. You do not try to prove you are worth it. You walk because a man with self-worth does not build a future on someday. He builds a future on certainty. Statement number 2, I need space. This is the most dangerous phrase in modern dating because it sounds healthy. It sounds like self-reflection. It sounds like she is taking responsibility for her emotions. But in many cases, what it really means is this. I want to keep my options open while keeping you available as a backup. I want freedom from accountability while maintaining access to your attention. And men fall for it because they think giving space proves maturity. They think it proves confidence. They think it shows they are secure. But what it actually shows is that you are willing to be deprioritized without consequence. You become the safety net. You become the stable option she returns to when the excitement elsewhere collapses. Real clarity does not require distance from someone you truly want. Real clarity happens through communication, transparency, and effort. If she values you, she will talk to you, not disappear from you. If she needs space for a few hours to calm down after conflict, that is normal. But if she needs space for days, weeks, or indefinite time, that is not space. That is avoidance. That is emotional cowardice dressed up as personal growth. And the solution is simple. Give her space permanently, not as punishment, not as manipulation, as a boundary. You are not a bookmark she can return to when she finishes exploring other chapters. You are not a draft she can revise later. You are a complete man with a life that moves forward. If she chooses distance, you choose detachment. Statement number 3, you are too good for me. This one sounds like humility. It sounds like she is acknowledging your value. It sounds like a compliment, but it is not. It is a disclaimer. It is her telling you that she knows she is going to hurt you, disappoint you, or disrespect you, and she is planting the warning early so she can later say you were told. It is a psychological loophole. Because now, if she behaves badly, she can tell herself she was honest. She can tell herself you chose to stay. And many men respond the wrong way. They double down. They reassure her. They tell her she is good enough. They try to rescue her from her insecurity. But that is exactly what she wants. She wants you to lower your standard to match her self-perception. She wants you to accept less while believing you are being noble. And that is the trap. Because a woman who truly believes she is not good enough for you has two choices. She either grows to meet your standard, or she steps aside so you can find someone who does. She does not keep you close while warning you she will fail you. So if a woman says you are too good for her, believe her, agree calmly, and leave, not cruelly, not dramatically, with quiet clarity. Statement number 4, I love you, but I am not in love with you. This is the sentence that kills relationships while pretending to be gentle. It sounds like honesty. It sounds like she is trying to spare your feelings. But what it means is this: I care about you. I appreciate you. I am used to you. But I do not desire you anymore. I do not feel attraction. I do not feel polarity. And I am not willing to do the work required to rebuild it. Love without desire is friendship. Love without attraction is history. Love without being chosen is comfort. And comfort is not enough for a romantic relationship. Men hear this and panic. They try harder. They become more romantic. They start over-performing. They attempt to recreate the early days. They start buying gifts, planning dates, becoming overly attentive. But that rarely works. Because desire is not restored by begging. Desire is restored by respect, by polarity, by individuality, by strength. If she says she loves you but is not in love with you, she is already halfway out the door. And the cruel truth is that many women say this when they want you to end it so they do not have to feel like the villain. They want you to carry the emotional weight of the breakup. They want you to be the bad guy. And a man with dignity refuses that game. He listens, he accepts, and he leaves. Because staying in a relationship where you are loved like a pet but not desired like a partner is a slow death. It erodes your confidence day by day. It turns you into a man who feels invisible in his own bed. You deserve to be chosen fully, not tolerated. Statement number 5, you are overreacting. This is the most toxic phrase on the list because it is not just disrespect. It is manipulation. It is an attempt to rewrite reality. When you express a concern, when you bring up something that hurt you, when you set a boundary, and she responds by saying you are overreacting, she is not addressing the issue. She is attacking your perception. She is telling you that your emotions are invalid, that your reaction is the problem, and that her behavior should not be questioned. This is how men lose themselves. Because once you accept that framing, you stop trusting your instincts, you stop bringing up concerns, you start filtering your emotions through the lens of whether she will approve of them. That is not intimacy. That is captivity. A woman who respects you will engage with your feelings even if she disagrees. She will ask questions. She will seek understanding. She will say, "Help me see what you mean." She will not dismiss you. So if she tells you that you are overreacting, do not debate her. Do not argue. Do not explain harder. Do not try to prove your emotions are valid. Leave. Because someone who invalidates your reality will eventually destroy your identity. Now let us talk about the man who does not tolerate these statements. This man does not chase closure. He does not beg for clarity. He does not argue for respect. He does not try to convince someone to value him. He understands that people who truly want you do not need time, space, disclaimers, or confusion. They show up clearly. They choose you. They invest. They match your effort. And because he understands his worth, he does not panic when someone pulls away. He does not spiral. He does not collapse into overtexting and overgiving. He stays grounded. He stays focused on his mission. He stays connected to his purpose. He knows his life is bigger than one person. And that is why he becomes magnetic. Because he is not desperate. He is not dependent. He is not begging for love. He is building a life that demands respect. When someone says they are not ready, he does not wait. When someone says they need space, he gives them all of it permanently. When someone says he is too good for them, he agrees. When someone says they love him but are not in love, he walks. When someone says he is overreacting, he exits without defending himself. And here is the secret. The moment you become that man, your entire dating life changes. You stop attracting confusion. You stop attracting women who test you endlessly. You stop attracting people who want your attention but not your commitment. You start attracting women who are clear, mature, consistent, and emotionally available. Because your standards filter out the chaos automatically. So what should you do starting today? Stop giving people credit for potential. Stop rewarding words without action. Stop staying in situations that require you to shrink. If someone tells you any of these 5 statements, you thank them for their honesty and you leave. No dramatic speech, no begging, no attempt to win them back. You simply walk because your presence is a privilege, not a resource for anyone who feels uncertain. Redirect your energy toward your growth, toward your health, toward your career, toward your purpose, toward building a life so strong that anyone who is not aligned falls away without effort. Learn to say no. No, I will not wait. No, I will not accept limbo. No, I will not accept blame for your disrespect. No, I will not negotiate my boundaries. That word becomes your anchor. And here is the truth that most men need to hear. You are not wrong for expecting clarity. You are not wrong for expecting consistency. You are not wrong for expecting respect. The problem is you were taught to accommodate people who do not accommodate you. You were taught that walking away is quitting, when in reality it is often the strongest move you can make. Walking away is not weakness, it is power. It is choosing reality over fantasy. It is choosing yourself over the hope that someone will eventually value you. So if you needed permission to leave someone who has said any of these things to you, here it is. Walk. Not because she is a bad person. Not because you are punishing her, but because you are honoring yourself. Because you refuse to build a future on uncertainty and disrespect. And when you live this way, you stop being the man things happen to. You become the man who decides.